Hello, hello. I am Bridget Rowe. I am energy. I am powerful, and I am who I say I am. Today, I wanted to talk about something that it seems no one else wants to talk about. I wanted to come live today and talk about body odor. Body odor. And the title of this video is You Think Your SHIT Doesn't Stink. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's just jump in and people will see me maybe on the repeat. I don't like to do the lag at the beginning of the video, but we're going to be talking about body odor today. Like I said, the title is going to be You Think Your SHIT Doesn't Stink. And so no one seemingly wants to talk about this, but I wanted to explain it to people because it has everything to do with, it ties directly into health and wellness. And I'm not talking just about overall aura. I'm talking about from the breath to your armpits, to your bowel movement, to passing gas, to your natural smell, your natural aura. In the biblical text, they say Jesus was a sweet smelling savior, and ye are gods. So I wanted to pass on this information to people so maybe we can get educated about our body just a little bit more. So let's just go on into it. Okay. So why do we have odors and stenches, first of all? I look at it as like this here. It is your body's way of saying that it needs help. Are you listening to me? Do you smell that? It's a lot of toxicity inside of here. And so I'm going to give you a stench and maybe you'll help me. Because see, we have to look at our body, the physical essence, as we have to master all realms, the spiritual and physical realm, but we are assigned this avatar suit, this avatar body. And so we should be taking care of this body as well and not neglecting it and taking care of the temple per se. So we'll have things in our physical reality like bad breath. So first we're going to talk about the bad breath. And I want to correlate bad breath to like a garbage disposal in your kitchen. So let's say you're in the kitchen and you're washing dishes and you could smell, you're standing right over the garbage disposal. You could smell a stench coming from it. You smell the stench coming from it. Why? Because there's food that hasn't been broken down, that's sitting in there rotting up. You turn on the disposal and then you might put maybe, I don't know, a lime peel inside of it to kill the bacteria. You might pour bleach, whatever your remedy is to get the smell to go away. But you turn on the disposal, you allow that food to be broken down, and you clean up the bacteria with the lime peel or the bleach or whatever you put in it. But we, on the other hand, have a built-in garbage disposal similar to that correlation. It's no different from the gut, but we'll go grab a piece of gum, chewing gum, and peppermint to cover it up instead of turning on the disposal. Meanwhile, we have the food still sitting in there in our stomach, not being fully digested, maybe mold or some type of bacterial overgrowth. We don't want to do the detox, we don't drink the key lime juice to kill the bacteria. We need to learn how to replenish the hydrochloric acid so the food can break down, just like the blades on the garbage disposal. Our hydrochloric acid is like the breakdown of our food, so it can go down to the large and small intestines and be expelled out of the body. And so that the breath in turn will stop smelling because you're smelling the stench from within. But a lot of us need more than just, a detox. A lot of us have neglected this particular part of our body, and we have leaky gut syndrome. We have ulcers, we have fungus and yeast overgrowth going down there. I don't want to get too deep into that. I want to explain the whys on this particular video. So for those of you who wanted to know that information, you should purchase my book. I give those tips in my book. He who has an ear, let him hear. It's a journey of becoming, and I share my journey, the live foods that heal, the things that you could consume, the leafy vegetables that are scrubbed against the walls of the intestines. All of that is in that particular chapter, live foods that heal. Or you can do a consultation with me. You can check out my website, www.saltoftheearthpub.org, and do a consultation if you want just to know those tips. But I wanted to talk today about why. So that's why for things like your breath, where the stench is coming from. But why do people have like smelly armpits and foul bowel movements and gas and things of that such? Well, it's similar to what we were just talking about, the diet. So it's the same thing. The diet is still have that old food accumulating, but then we don't consume, like I said, the foods that are scrub the walls of the intestines or purge the kidneys or support bowel movement or flow. Then on top of that, and on our armpits, we'll put the antiperspirant, which clogs up the armpits. So we start off maybe our teenage years, maybe 13-ish type. We start off with the antiperspirants. If you're lucky, you just had the deodorant and you were able to allow the sweat to come out. But just think about this here. If we're eating meats and we're eating potatoes and we're eating ice cream and chewy candy, this consistency of that, just think about blending all of that together. Think about putting meat, potatoes, ice cream, and chewy candy in a blender, and you'll have this chaotic slime that's just sitting there. And if the meat is dry and tough, all this stuff on top of maybe not drinking water, this type stuff inside of our intestines stagnates our energy flow. And see, our gut, our stomach, our intestines, whatever you want to call that energy center, this is what we call the solar plex, our energy network. So our energy network becomes stagnated with those type things sitting in there, not moving, not circulating. And then on top of that, we'll put antiperspirants underneath our armpit. And so some people will use the antiperspirant and they won't put one layer of it. They'll be stroking the tube back and forth to make sure that they cake layers of it underneath their armpits. So we cake the antiperspirant on, clogging up our armpits. And meanwhile, the inside of us, our body, our lymph nodes are housed there, and our body is robbing Peter to pay Paul, because first of all, the immune center is compromised because the gut is where all immunity starts, like 70 to 80% of it is there. And so now the lymphatic system, which is designed to help to flow toxins and expel them through your sweat. So we have these lymph nodes in our neck, a gang of them in our neck, underneath our armpit, and in our growing area. We have them throughout our body, but those areas, they have more than other places. So one of those areas is underneath the armpit. And so this drainage system is supposed to allow you to perspire. And every time you're perspiring, it's like it's releasing the toxins to help save your life. Even like when we're sleeping in the middle of the night, we go to sleep at night and our body is robbing Peter to pay Paul, but meanwhile is looking for the minerals, the life force, or whatever you gave it throughout that day to able to heal your body, to give you energy, to bring magnesium to the heart, to bring iodine to maybe your thyroid and to balance your hormones. All of this stuff, this process is really going on at night. But at night, if the body doesn't have these things to replenish it by the healthy diet, if the pores was clogged up underneath the armpit with the antiperspirant, if we haven't had a bowel movement because our energy network system is stagnated because we're not drinking water, there is no flow. Here's what I'm saying. There is no flow to allow toxicity to be released out of the body, and therefore the insides will begin to stink. And so, of course, this type of person will be walking around in the physical reality with high blood pressure, with things like diabetes, because it has everything to do with diet, with poor circulation throughout the extremities, the feet, the ankles getting swollen and stuff. These people in the physical reality would have to balance the gut before they can ever get that fluid tension to go away, and before their eyes will begin to get back, at a 20/20 vision, because it starts in the gut. And so this order will send a signal to you saying, hey, are you paying attention to me? Things are getting clogged up here. And a key factor to know when you're getting to this point where your body is getting so toxic is when you wear antiperspirant and you still sweating through the antiperspirant. And so the smell is still coming through. So you have to freshen up just a little bit more. That's letting you know, that's a signal saying, okay, hey, help us. Stop clogging us up. We need to release. And so the only animal that I can think of is the pig, which holds on to his toxins. Humans aren't designed to hold on to toxins. We have lipnoids throughout our entire body that's supposed to be protecting us from toxins and helping to expel them and not keep them in. So wearing the antiperspirants is another thing that's keeping the stench inside of the person. And so an alternative to the antiperspirant would be wearing the deodorant. Alternative to this toxic environment in the gut is the leafy vegetables, the coconut oils, more figs and dates for fiber to allow that energy to become unstagnated and flow. Incorporating more water, because that's going to bring in the hydrogen and oxygen in that particular area throughout the body. I'll share that part with you right now. But I want to share with you all my story, my journey, because I've been through this. I don't come on here and talk about anything that I haven't experienced in my physical reality. So years ago, when I better understood that I shouldn't wear the antiperspirant, that I wanted to release this, my thing was I would bring a Ziploc bag with me everywhere I went. I had this little big Ziploc bag, and I had my towel, I had my soap, and I had my deodorant in there. Because let me tell you what happened to me. This is my experience that I'm just sharing. When you go on this healthy diet and you begin to incorporate, these healthy food choices, that's a beautiful thing. But you don't just stop eating bad food and just think that a salad is going to fix everything. It's not. With the eating part, the detox is necessary, because we have to realize, if you've been eating, a toxic diet for 30 plus years, you have accumulation of old fecal matter, old toxins that's inside of that needs to be purged. But as far as the antiperspirant switch to deodorant, that is also something we should pay attention to, because after I was maybe 35-ish, and I started wearing antiperspirant since I was maybe 13. So that's like maybe 22 years. So 22 years of backing up the armpit with antiperspirant. You have a lot of lipnoids there and a lot of energy that wants to be released, a lot of toxins that's going to want to flow. So in the beginning of this stage, you will begin, well, for me, at least I did, begin to leak, like a leaky faucet. It's almost like, okay, you're not putting this coat of antiperspirant that's been blocking these lipnoids all these years. So now the lipnoids is like, whoo, come on, guys. She's letting us out. She's letting this energy flow here. So we have a pathway. We can go here. Come on, guys. And it's just like, you just will sweat profusely. And so you have to constantly stay fresh during that moment. And then what happens is the body will begin to regulate. The body will begin to regulate, and it will stop sweating as much, and it'll become, a healthy balance when you're wearing the deodorant. But in the beginning, A lot of people will change from antiperspirant, go to deodorant, and I've heard so many people say, no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I had to go back. I was sweating so much, and they can't tolerate their own stench. And that's a sad place to be when you know that you have toxicity in the water. I mean, not in the water, toxicity in the sweat and in your body, but you can't tolerate your own smell. So they decide instead to leave the smell in, to stay in a toxic state of being instead of letting it release. Just like some people, they'd be so afraid. They'd be so afraid to try detox. They'd be like, oh no, I don't know if this is going to be a horrible experience. I'm just going to leave it alone. I don't know. I don't want to touch that. But there comes a moment in the journey where we got to put the big girl drawers or the big guy boxers on and let our energy flow and become imbalanced with who we really are. Because we are gods and goddesses in this physical reality. We've come and stooped really, really low. But we should not be around here not being able to tolerate our own smell when we use the bathroom. And you know, sometimes we say things in this physical reality, and we have these little sayings, and we don't really know how powerful these sayings are and how we could apply these sayings to ourselves when we say just the word energy. We all have an energy, an inner God. You know, even in like you know, in the hood per se, they'll say, "What's up, G?" You know, "What's up, God?" You know, well, it is no different from the saying that when they say, you think your SHIT doesn't stink. Well, guess what? It's not supposed to stink. Your SHIT will not stink if you're eating a healthy diet. Your armpit should not be stinking if you're eating a healthy diet. Even when you pass gas, it's not supposed to be foul and stinking up a whole room when you're on a healthy diet. And so I wanted to talk to you all about, you know, body odors, because I don't see nobody online is talking about getting to the nitty-gritty of body odors and why we have it and what we can do to avoid it. And it's almost like when the body goes into a detox mode during your journey of detoxing, you expel so much per day. You know, like say for instance, if you're sick, if you have like, let's say you have a cold or something, and you start taking, you know, some herbs or medicine or whatever, each day your body is going to only expel so much of toxicity, because you know it can't overbear you, you know, it can't overburden you. If that's the case, people just be profusely just walking around barfing and, you know, profusely with diarrhea. But it only allows so much per day, and then that's a cap for that day. And then the next day you have that same amount. But what happens is each day you become stronger and stronger. That's why people start to get better the next day, because you have this amount that you can let go. So I would say to those people that are afraid to do detoxing, I've never in my journey had anything that was overbearing. But what I did experience was the feeling of, oh my God, I'm so glad. I feel so much better since I've released that or whatever during a detox. And a detox is not just, I'm not just talking about bowel movement here. I'm not talking about gas here. I'm also talking about even your skin, you know, because our skin is an organ. So even the skin, when you have like fluid filled pimples or bumps or whatever, that's a form of detoxing. When you develop maybe a rash that you never had, or you had a rash when you were a little girl, a little boy in a certain area, and then you start getting on a detox, then your skin starts to rash or flake up in that same area, and you feel like old wounds or old sicknesses that you're purging from, because a detox should touch you at a cellular level and pull out old sludge. Because, you know, when we take sometimes pharmaceutical drugs, you know, we'll start feeling better. And sometimes people even say, they'll be like, well, some such and such flared up on me again. Okay, let's think about that. If something flared up on you again, that means it was still inside of you somewhere hidden, maybe underneath a fat deposit for it to flare up again. the purpose of a detox is to detox all of those things, expel all of those viruses and bacteria so it won't flare up on you again, is what I'm saying. So when you detox the pharmaceutical deals that you try to get rid of, maybe those things will flare up on you again and try to be expelled, even in your eyes, like right by your the corner of your eye, your tear duct. That is an exit for parasites and and things to come out, because when we have cold, when we have cold in our eyes, that's a sign when the body is acidic as well. So when the body is acidic and not in a healthy balance, it will secrete from any pathway, not just bile and gas. So you could get it from the skin, you could get it from your eyeballs, you could get it from mucus coming out of your nose like snot. You can get it from your breath smelling a certain way and wanting to hawk up spit or whatever exit it could come. It could even come out your ears. It could come. I've heard stories of, and trust me, people share with me. Sometimes I think it's so much. Their pictures of all of the things that came out of them, and I'd be like, lady, I don't know you like that. You don't have to send me that. In a nice way, but I have seen and I've heard all of these things, but my thing is, it was never really overbearing for these people. These people were in awe that whatever came out of whatever passageway or whatever hole, and then they felt renewed and refreshed and felt better. So, okay, I went over my time. I didn't want to go long on this, but I really wanted to talk about body odor and what it meant, because like I said earlier in this live, Jesus was a sweet smelling savior, and ye are gods and so are you. Let's see, let me go through the comments and then I will be out of here. Hello, Anika. Thank you. Okay, this is Anika. She was listening. What do we eat to Baltimore? Let's see. What do we eat in Baltimore? Is that what you're saying? Balance. I love coconut water. Coconut water is really, really, really good. Coconut oil too. I talk about that a lot on my Facebook page. That's something I consume a lot of. Just like a little teaspoon of coconut oil. It does a good amount for the body. Coconut oil and the water too is anti-parasitic, antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-fungal, and so it'll help with your digestive system. It will help you go to the restroom. A lot of people might not be able to find the coconut water, but coconut water is in a lot of Asian markets. I'm talking about the real coconut. I'm talking about cutting the top of the coconut off and consuming the water from a fresh coconut. I'm not talking about nothing that's inside of the bottle, because half of the time that be mixed with other things. I'd rather get the real coconut, and it is very beneficial for the body. It can help with like irritable bowel syndrome and parasites in the gut. But it's something like, so when you're doing like herbs and natural things, it takes a little bit longer for the turnaround. And a lot of people just want this one day fix, but I want to explain this to you all before I go here. The 30-year average of our age. I'm assuming that the people on this live is roughly, let's say, average 30 years old. If you've been consuming toxicity for 30 years and somebody tell you there's this one little pill that's going to get you right in one day, please, let's use common sense, because it don't work like that. When you are constant, that's why when my detox is a 30-day detox, because everybody has a different level of toxicity. Some people level is so hardened, some people have so much hardened old fecal matter inside of them, then one little pill not going to do nothing to penetrate that. Some people are so calcified within at the same time too. Nothing not going to penetrate that in no one day, no 1 week, There's layers to detoxing. So if you ever try something that is less than 30 days, then you didn't really get to the core of your issues, because not only could it be hardened and stiff. Let's imagine if maybe 50 or 60 years old just doing your first detox. You have so much more than others. So everybody is going to be at a different level. But not only that, if we have parasites or something inside of the gut, if you have parasites or like fungus and yeast overgrowth, parasites, they go through stages. They'll lay eggs, rehatch, the larva be inside of the gut. So you have to penetrate and get to them at different stages. They die off. You have to expel the die off of the parasite. It's so much that's going on when you're doing a detox. And so I just wanted to give you that knowledge, if I didn't give you anything else, that with a detox is no 1 day, no 2 day thing. No, detoxes should last for about 30 days. That's when you really penetrate and get into every level, every stage that parasite that was inside of you gets at. Because I'm not trying to be ugly when I say parasites. Everybody probably have it at this point. We get parasites from eating meat. You get parasites from food sitting out so long or whatever. Parasites, if you have a cat or dog in your house, they got parasites. They walking around with them. This is why they get dewormed and get their shots and all this and get ticks. They live with them. So if you have a pet, you have probably parasites. I'm not being ugly. If you can get it from kissing somebody, just exchanging germs and stuff. You could get it from eating something that way maybe a fly landed on and you didn't know the fly was on it. So I'm not being ugly here. We get to a point where we have a build up of things from years ago inside of us. So no 1 week thing gonna fix that if you about 30, 40, 50 years old. It's just not happening. I'm just being honest with y'all. Hi, Sharon. So that's it. I checked I appreciate you all being here. I checked the comments and that's all that I have, but that's all that I want to talk about today. Just body odor, because it is important. And you get to a point in your journey when you become a vegan and you get all of this toxicity out, that you have this natural aura about yourself. And I'll say this one last thing before I go. I was this guy that details my car. He had told me, he was like, what is that scent you be putting in there? Because he's the only person that do my car. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't put no scent up in there. He kept asking me that for the longest. I was like, well, I guess it must be my scent, my smell or whatever, because other people can, maybe if you don't smell your scent, other people can smell your scent. Just like other people can smell your scent in your house that you might not be accustomed to. You have a smell. And so that's why I just wanted to talk briefly about body odor and the things that you can do to help with yours, the things that you can do to, instead of grabbing gum and grabbing peppermint for the breath, and how to handle the armpit area. We can decide, to clean up the gut and get rid of that old food that's just been sitting there for umpteen years and be healed, be healthy. Hi, Donna. Thank you for joining us. And that's all that I have for you all today. Be blessed from my heart to yours. Goodbye.